What's up guys, Kuroo here, and today with the second part of my showcasing of my account. As I already mentioned, this is not for bragging, I just wanted to show you guys what I currently have for my Solid Online Integral Factor account, and I already showed the first part, so I'll put down the link in the description box if you want to see the first part. Definitely should watch it because it's pretty juicy. And yeah, let's just keep going. Didn't finish with the skill records because there are a lot of them, so yeah, let's keep going with my spear or lens account or lens cards, which I'm pretty proud of. So that's the cards that I have here. First up, we have Blossoming Lancer Yuki. Yeah, it took a long time to get her. I missed her on the first banner where she was actually, and then I missed her on the second banner where they would combine the two banners, and then I finally got her on the Yuki birthday banner. So it took me a long while to get her. That's one of the slashing lens cards. Most of the lens cards, I'm just calling them lens, have like piercing abilities. That's one of the few with the slashing, which is pretty nice. And the damage is really high. You have a nice gap closing, and all the damages will decrease 50% when it's activated. So the skill is the same as Christmas Yuki. And actually the range is pretty good. Yeah, overall really strong card. So next up we have this Striving Effort Sachi, and that's one of the most important cards for my lens build right now. Probably going to make a different video explaining what my lens build is and why. So damage isn't that high, but it's pretty fast because it's only 2 hits, and the good thing is you can poison your enemy, which is really nice. And next up we have the OG Sachi, and she has really high damage. 740% damage, and it's 8 hits, so it takes pretty long, but you can generate quite some combo hits. The AoE is pretty nice, and it gives you a critical rates buff for by 40% for 10 seconds. So yeah, one of the best AoE damage cards, especially if you're farming. She's probably the best card out there right now. Then we have this one, Be Brave Sachi. Yeah, it gives you a critical damage increase for 15% for 10 seconds, so that's one of the better 4-star Sachi cards or lens cards, because you have AoE damage and you have critical buff increase, and that's pretty fast, so this one is pretty nice. Then we have this Black Spear Silica. Yeah, honestly, this card is it's garbage. Damage is pretty low, and the only good thing is that it's pretty fast and you have the chance of burning damage or burning enemies, which is, I think that's the only card in this game that can burn your enemies. So it's kind of interesting. I just don't know, because her damage is kind of lacking. Not using her on my build currently. So next up we have Serene Lancer Leafa, which is, yeah, the animation is actually exactly the same as Sachi, original Sachi lens, and yeah, just 10% less damage. Oh no, she actually has the right exact same amount of damage as as the lens Sachi. So yeah, and she also has the Holy Element, and she decreases the attack increase from enemies, or she removes it actually. And yeah, she's, in my opinion, she's a little bit worse than Christmas lens Sachi, but overall still really good. And if you're just using her for wave clear, she's just as good as the lens Sachi that I showed you earlier. And next up we have this one, Lovely Sachi, which is one of the best 4-star Sachi cards, because damage is quite good, and it also has like defense increase by minus 30% for 10 seconds if you max this card out. So that's also one of my main cards for my lens build, and she's really strong. Okay, what else do we have? Okay, I think the other cards aren't that interesting, so we'll just keep going to the next one. Shield, okay, that's going to be fast. Yeah, this Agile is actually pretty nice. The damage isn't that high, but yeah, flinch resists plus 72.8% for 10 seconds, which is pretty nice. High defense increases damage, so the more defense you have, the higher damage you do. Yeah, she's pretty good if you have like cards where you rely on combo hits because of the flinch resist. You won't lose your combo hits, so he's one of the main cards if you're going for that build. But other than this, it's kind of hard. But I can imagine a shield build with more shield cards, but yeah, overall probably not the case right now. Okay, this is Sachi passive. Paralysis resistance increases by 23%, so probably never gonna use her. This one gives you a defense increase by 5.05% for 55 seconds, so I can imagine it in a high defense build. And then we have this one, attack increase for 5.05% for 40 seconds, which is pretty nice to have, but I'm probably not going to use her either. But yeah, for now, shield isn't the best thing to have. Hey, let's go to my abilities, or my passive abilities. And first up we have this Leaf, which I pulled yesterday. Took a long time to get her. Max HP increased by up to 13%, paralysis resist increased by 50%. So that's also a main card in my X build. It's probably the most important card, to be honest, because I'm going for an HP build, which I'm going to explain in a different video. But yeah, this card is pretty decent, pretty nice, and I really like the artwork. And then we have this Always Together Silica, which is one of my core cards in my lens build. Increases the target success rate for poison debuff. This means you have a higher chance of poisoning enemies, which is really nice. It also increases the user's attack power by 16% when the enemy is poisoned. So yeah, as you can see in my lens build, I'm going for poison damage, and that's why this was one of my main passive cards there. Then we have this Ernest Choco Kuroo, and she has like a lot of buffs. So first up is attack plus 7.25%, which is really nice to have. Then you have like damage plus 7.8% on enemies with attack debuff, and the same for enemies on defense debuff. So if you can put her into like a skill record team with like attack debuff and defense debuff, she's going to be really strong, because this one card gives like 2 bonus buffs instead of 1, which is really nice to have. And then we have this one. This is also really important for my lens build. Attack plus 23.4% against poisoned enemies. As you can see, yeah, again, it's for poisoned enemies, and my build is for poison damage. That's why she's important. And these kind of cards are also really good. Yeah, to have if you have like the right weapon class. Damage done to enemies weak to thrusting plus 23.04%. So really good card, but you can only use it in bossing against thrust weak enemies. Then we have this. This is one of the best passive cards, I would say. Attack damage increase plus 18.2% when HP is above 75%. So as long as you over 75% HP, she's really strong, but after this she's useless, so it's kind of hard to use her. You need to dodge abilities. And yeah, I personally really like her. And then we have Holy Knight Yuki, which is one of these nice passive cards that you should have somewhere later in the game. Damage done to enemies weak to blunt, 22.92%, which is really nice. Sadly, I'm missing like the slashing card with this ability, but yeah, nothing I can do there. And with this Kind Christmas Asana, restore 26 HP on critical hit once per skill. So I used her in a lot of builds because it's one of the cards I got early in the game. And I must say she is best used in a rapier build because you have fast attacking animation with rapiers. And yeah, the HP restoring seems low, 26% at 26 HP per hit. But yeah, with rapiers you're mostly aiming for a high crit build, and then you will most likely crit all the time, and then she's really good. And you have fast attacking animation. So next up we have this Asana. Why is Asana? That's a free card that everyone got for pre-registering. So attack increase plus 3.6% and defense increase plus 3.6%. Pretty nice card actually. For a free card, that's damn good. So if you have her, you should definitely use her if you don't have like the other 5-star cards or 4-star cards. And then I have this Sachi. Graceful Sachi. And while defense power increased during effective for buff, attack power increased by 15.1%, which means if the enemy is debuffed, you will do more damage. So probably you still need to max her out. Just got her yesterday, so I didn't have the time to max her out yet. And yeah, she's probably going to be another card in my core build for lens, but I need to see. Missing a lot of spots. So Secret Joy's Yuki. Skills power is added 15.5% when used in a switch. So if you switch, then she will do more damage. So she's actually really good with the schoolgirl Kuroo, just because then the switch damage will skyrocket. But yeah, other than this, if you use her in a team as a supporting card, she's also pretty good, to be honest. So, still need to think when to use her. I think if I'm going to support my guild or something like this, then I'm going to use her. Then we have this Godhammer Yui. Attack against burned enemies increase 19.05 damage. So the problem with this is the only card that can burn enemies is, as I already mentioned, like this Lens Silica, and that card is pretty much garbage. So this card is currently not the best to have, to be honest, but she's pretty cute. So yeah, that's why we have her. Then we have Striking Elizabeth, defense plus 15.1% when debuffed with paralysis, or yeah, just with all these status effects, and defense plus 15%, plus 15. If you're aiming for a defense build, then this card is pretty decent, but overall, not my favorite card. Then we have this Flowery Scented Asna. Critical activation increases 5.3% when it heals with objects in the field. So if you destroy like healing objects, you will get critical buff. And other than this artwork, this card is absolute garbage in my opinion. I'm sorry to say this, but yeah, don't even know what to do with this card. She is so bad, and I got it 3 times because I have like 2 limit breaks on her, and it's kind of sad, really sad. But yeah, that's what I get. Then we have Blast Lisbeth. Defense increases by 30.2% when HP is below 25%. So if you're aiming for a high defense build, it's kind of hard to use her because the defense increase, it's probably a good card if you're aiming for a low HP build. I can imagine her in a dagger build, and she will be pretty nice just because you want to be as low health as you can, but you still don't want to die. So yeah, that's the way to go. That's how it's going to be with her. And lastly, I have this High Jump Sachi, chance of bleed up, and critical rate increases by 22.5% on bleed. So that's actually almost the same as this Silica, just for bleeding damage. And overall, she's a pretty nice card if you have like bleeding or if you're playing for a bleed build. But yeah, overall, pretty nice to have. So that's my skill records. I think I'm going to show you guys my equipment and my avatars and things like this in a third video. So yeah, because it's going to take a long while to make everything. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, then please leave me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as it helps me out a lot. And yeah, as I already mentioned, that's not for bragging, just wanted to show you guys how my account looks, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.